So we're going to give it the chance to get out. That's what we're going to do this morning. We're just going to say, okay, come on out, and, we want to listen to you. We want to hear you this morning. So just take a nice breath and imagine that you actually could step away from that pounding, yelling energy that has all those things to say to you, Thach. And it's probably kind of the same thing over and over because it's really trying to get your attention. Until it has your attention, it's not going to get into the conversation part. So just imagine that you could step away from it and it's kind of floating out there in front of you, right there at head level. And, ask that energy if it wants to kind of take a shape or form. And it may turn into something that's a person, and it may not. It may be an object, or it may turn into someone that you know. Or it may not. It may just stay, sort of a little whatever it looked like before. Just notice, because we're going to invite it to, be in some conversation around this issue of manifesting, around your specific manifestation. So what has happened to that energy? Did it take a form for you?
The thing I noticed that is just it's like the form is almost like it's like a inside my head is like a ball, you know what I mean? And it's trying to like squeeze itself, into like a real tight little like a spear, so it can actually squeeze through my crack in my brain and get out of something. Okay.
So it strikes me that a spear shape is very focused too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not a watermelon. It's a spear, So there's something even in that imagery that speaks to, something that's really aiming, focusing, very directed. This energy obviously has something it really wants to get across. So we're just going to acknowledge that there's something about this energy that it really wants to get across. And I hear the sincerity from you, Thach. So you just want to convey that in some way, sort of silently inside, to say, I do want to be in conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. You've been making your presence known in a very, very large physical sensation way. Now I want to hear what you have to say. So one of the things you might want to ask this energy is, what is it you're trying to do? There's usually something that these energies are trying to accomplish. They're trying to keep us safe, or they're trying to, they are trying to hold us back. Sometimes they're trying to hold us back for some reason. Sometimes they're trying to help promote us. Sometimes they're trying to get our attention for, just any number of reasons. So that's just a question you're going to ask this spear-like energy is, what is your job? What do you think you're doing for me? Or what are you doing for me? Or what are you trying to do for me?
The first thing that came to my mind, it's interesting that this is what's coming up for me is like, this is what I've been frustrated about. In the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, I've been really, I have not been single-minded focused on a task I need to wrap up, which is my real estate business.
Okay.
My mind has been diluted on just a bunch of other things.
Okay. You've been trying to manage all these different activities, right? And they're not even all around real estate, are they? They're around all different things, right? Thach?
The thing is, Deborah, is that there's half of myself says to me, the thing that I'm actually doing that's not related to real estate is the thing that I actually enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like this blog radio show that you and myself and our friend Ron Potosi is going to do, right? And so, of course, those are exciting things for me because, that's where my inspiration lies, right? It's creating those kind of things. Right? At the same time, as I begin putting my focus on getting that ready and building this or getting this over here ready, I noticed that I am taking my focus away from building my real estate company.
Okay. So, and you have had a very clear intention about your real estate company, how you want to form it, who the energies around it, the essences of it, because I remember we worked on this. I know you have had a very clear intention. So there is some part of you that's saying something about that. It actually is trying to help you. Do you see?
Right.
It's trying to say, hey, hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Is this really what you want to be doing? Really? Now, the thing is, we can change our mind. We can change our mind at any time. And obviously, you're saying, I think what I'm hearing you say is that there's a lot of physical things in your world that you're dividing your time, energy, and focus between.
That's right.
Right? And even over and above that, there are some very specific things that have to do with your internal alignment around those. What really is the priority? Where do I want to spend the time today, this week? It's easy to get distracted with some of the fun new things that are going on. It's for all of us, right? And it doesn't mean that they aren't useful, and it doesn't mean that they won't relate to your real estate business. But perhaps there's something that some part of you knows that if you want to get to that manifestation that you really want, this other thing must be put as the first priority before the second priority. So let's ask this energy that has raised its hand and, rattled its spirit you to help us. Why do it the hard way? Why keep wrestling? What we want to do is we want to bring those voices inside of us, our team, so to speak. It really is like we have a team. We have someone whose major priority is safety, and someone else's major priority is God, fun. Does it have to all be drudgery? And someone else's priority is looking for opportunity. See, but that's all a team, and they all have their little agendas, their little ways of looking at things, right? And some of us have a bigger, busier team than others because that's our comfort level. And I would hasten to say it's my hallucination about you that you have a pretty big active team, Thach, looking in all those different directions. But sort of like a herd, you need to kind of, make sure that they're headed towards the proper goalpost. So let's ask that energy. Let's just ask that energy, that spirit energy, okay, you're here to get me on task, to get me on focus, to hold to my intentions. Ask it, what is the intention that you're working so hard for, that you're lobbying for, that you're advocating for? What is its perspective? What is it trying to get you back focused about?
It's like there's two thoughts that come up in my mind. One is to get myself back into that place of building my real estate business where, I do have a passion for it. I do have a love for it, to build it up to a point where, I love real estate. However, I want to build it into a company more than as an individual, because eventually my goal is to actually be working on the business versus working in the business, right? And so the other agent in my team will be actually working in the business. So I want to build business up. So I guess I love building businesses.
Yes.
So, as a individual agent, you're not really considered building a business. You're more like you are the owner of the restaurant, and you are the cook and the chef all at one time.
Yes.
I mean the waiter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to move away from that, and I want to go in and I want to build this restaurant up so that eventually, right, I just play the role as the owner of the restaurant, and I have agent in there cooking and waitering, and my job really, what I'm good at, is go out there promoting the restaurant, go out, shake people's hand in the restaurant, welcome them, connect with them, you know what I mean, and inspire and motivate them. You see what I mean? I
totally see what you mean. So my idea is that this energy is saying it's working, it's attempting to work for you, Thach, rather than against you. And I know sometimes these energies feel like they're really against us, but I think that it's really trying to work for you, because in order to become the person who's working on the business, not working in the business, in order to really become that person, there definitely are some targeted changes that have to happen. I don't know what they are for you in particular in your business, but it may be that this energy is saying, hang on, this is not the direction. This is the direction.